Welcome to Engine Adventures. Today we're going to be covering the 2019 Chevy SIlverado Trail Boss and specifically covering off-road features of it. This one came with the 5.3 liter V8 and 8-speed automatic transmission. It is basically a normal Chevy truck with a 2-inch lift, and you get the Goodyear Duratrack tires, I think in a 32-inch size. They are pretty aggressive and provide actually really good traction for the conditions we were in. It was cold, a little bit snowy, the sand was really damp, really wet and heavy, and there was a little bit of mud, and these tires just did great in this situation. We only got stuck because we wanted to. Overall, there's really not much difference besides that. Besides that lift and those tires, this truck is the same as any other, and we'll go through all the different traction systems, which will be common across all GM trucks, and hopefully you learn something today. Here we have it in 4-wheel drive auto with stability track off and traction control off, seeing how it drives through the sand and how it transfers power. And then we will be switching to 4-wheel drive high with it locked into high to see the difference. This transfer case is a clutch pack system, which will transfer from anywhere from 0% to the front all the way up to 50% front, 50% rear. And when you put it into 4-wheel drive high or 4-wheel drive low, it just really locks up that clutch pack, essentially to the point where you can't slip.
Previous was 4-wheel drive auto.
Oh, that was way too easy.
Yeah, that was way different than 4 high. Just drove right through.
That was totally different.
Huh.
I can't tell what's spinning or what's different, but that was totally different.
Do you have the traction control stuff, the stability track, all that?
So there are no differences in the 4-wheel drive systems and traction systems of this truck versus any other Chevy or GM pickup. It has, as we talked about, the transfer case with the clutch packs. It has something that Chevy calls pinion control, which is the system that puts the brake on the spinning wheel to transfer power over to the wheel with traction. It also has traction control and electronic stability control, which is kind of standard across all the vehicles, and it works the same way here. And then it has a G80 rear differential locker, which will automatically lock once there's an RPM difference of about 100 to 120 between the two wheels and one axle.
4 high, traction control on, stability track on.
Here the driver has the throttle pedal all the way to the floor, and you can see traction control is cutting power. This is a situation where traction control is actually worse when it is on. If he had it off, he could have full power here and be able to push through this pretty easily.
So only get up to 1800 RPMs with the pedal on the floor. The traction control and stability track are cutting the power to it. So we have thoroughly beached the Chevy SIlverado Trail Boss. This is in an effort to test some recovery tracks. So as you can see, it's all laid down there on the sand. Everywhere, all the way around. So we'll dig it up a little bit, throw those tracks under there and see if we can get it out.
Alright, so this is an Expo recovery mat. You can see it has the handles there. You've probably seen these Max tracks and stuff like that. But they're designed so you can dig out on the back side, use the back foot of the shovel. So we're going to dig this thing out, throw the tracks under there, the Expo tracks, and see if we can get it out.
Alright, so we've dug it out quite a bit. We want to show that it's probably still stuck. We'll see if we can drive out just from digging it out before we try the tracks to show you the difference.
Keep in mind, this is not a demonstration on how you should drive in the sand. We're trying to show that this product actually works. We probably could have gotten out of this without using the tracks.
Alright, so you can see you can't pull forward. We're going to do the same thing. We'll back it up and throw the tracks under it. You could probably get a running start and get out of this now, but we'll throw the tracks under there just to show you the difference of pulling forward.
You can see here the truck drives right up on the tracks, no problem, and then as soon as it hits the ends of the tracks, it kind of gets stuck again and starts to bog down.
So you saw I just drove right up on those ramps, no problem. It'd be real easy to pull it out from there. See how it sinks without the boards underneath it. And then if he gets back onto those boards, there you go. And then accelerate a little bit harder there, and no problem, it just drives right out. So yeah, you can definitely dig out without them, but having those tracks in there, it just makes a world of difference. We're just testing out the G80 rear locker. It automatically locks, and what happens when you get enough difference between the two rear wheels and speed, it'll lock up and pull it forward. So we have it in two-wheel drive just to do this test. Let's give it a shot. So you can see it spinning there, and then locked up, and you can see the other side gravel. You can see it transfer power to both wheels there when it locks up. A little bit, perfect.
Here you can see it spinning, and as soon as it hits that RPM difference, it'll lock up, and you see the truck shake right there, and now it's locked.
Oh, there you go. So just keep it that speed and see if it'll... So this is with traction control. Go a little faster. All traction control. The G80 didn't lock that time.
Thanks for watching our explainer on the traction systems of Chevy trucks.